The Cutter's Rule podcast is sponsored by Courtside Rehab and Training. Courtside Rehab and Training owner Dean Thompson works one on one with each of his clients. He specializes in physical rehab and performance for racket sport athletes dealing with a recent injury, surgery, or chronic pain. Dean offers both in person and digital solutions for rehab and performance. To book a free consult call, visit courtsiderehabandtraining.com or hit the link on the Courtside Rehab and Training Instagram profile. And if you haven't listened yet, check out the last episode as Dean walks through what is the proper pre-paddle routine to warm up, how to avoid injuries, and when to get back on the court. Can't say enough about him. He's helped me work through my issues of chronic pain over the last year relating to patellar tendonitis.
Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Can you dig it? You dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Hey, Tyler, you're handsome.
I'm gonna crack one.
What?
I said, Tyler, you're handsome. So
Listen, I'm trying to keep up with that slicked back hair. Look at that.
that's just. I just got out of the shower, and if as soon as it dries, it's gonna go poof, and I'm gonna look like an idiot. So,
Nah, you're gonna look fantastic as always.
Not as
but
good
I
as
will
Tyler.
just point out that I put on the Nooner shirt for this, just for the record.
Love it. That's part of
So-
my intro, Nooners.
There we go.
All right, you guys,
That is-
let me do the intro so we can kick this off.
Let's do it.
Today on the show, we're joined by two certified legends and unofficial fashion icons. First up, he's got more flair than an 80s ski team with his coat game. Tyler Owens is single-handedly keeping the puff industry alive. When he walks on court, you don't just see him, you feel him. And joining him is a Swedish sensation who might rather be playing in the NHL and has the boldness to rock a banana yellow fanny pack and a Nooner holder at Nationals. Andre Ivarsson, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend. Together, they're the doubles team that has racket skills and rocks their outerwear. Tyler, Andre, welcome to the show. And everyone's fueled up here except Tyler because he's responsible and driving. Let's do this.
Guys, thank you so much for having us. First of all,
Thank you for having us. Awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna say is like, do I need to send you a check after that intro? Because that's probably the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Come on, I say nice things on the court too. Come on.
You don't count. You have to.
You know, I got. You have to have a picture of the fanny pack, right?
Oh, I got plenty of them. Yes.
All right.
We do. We absolutely
As a matter
do.
of fact, it's actually already made it as its own emoji, as ladies of the New Jersey Banana Crew have absolutely destroyed those pictures for us. So there are emojis of the fanny pack with us in it, together or separate.
What is that? Because I know that's what's her name, Mommy Diska, what is?
Oh, it's a larger group than that. There's a bunch of ladies in this group, but it's basically a group of Jersey ladies, plus one plant in Westchester County that started doing camps with us, and it became this whole big banana crew thing. And it started at the Boston Nationals. It was just one innocent banana joke, and it turned into all of this. And now there's merchandise with this, and there's everything is just, you know, bananarized. It's nuts. But the crew itself is hysterical. You cannot not have a great time with them.
I would submit that the ladies tend to have a better time than the men. We went up to, well, Tam was there. We went up to Owl's Nest last year, and there were 10 girls from Chicago. They all had this the dirtiest, filthiest merchandise you could ever imagine. I'll send you guys pictures afterwards. But they were over the top.
I mean, they tend to know how to party, that's for sure.
Al's Nest is technically where this bromance between Andre and I started
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
last year.
Love
Yeah.
to hear the story.
Well, I mean, we did have our moments at Short Hills the year before, but
I actually think it was at Shorter's the year before it really started. And once again, we have the founders of the Banana Crew to thank for that, because
very true.
when I was going to put my own camp together, they came to me and requested, it's like, all right, we're going to do your camp, but Tyler Owens has to be a coach there. It has to be one of the pros. And I was like, well, done. It's like, I mean, have you seen his shorts? I want to look at him all day too. So that worked out well. So
Well, Andre, you don't know the story. So the first time I was introduced to Tyler, he played in a tournament at my club, shirtless, and there was about 30 married women. You couldn't even peel their faces off the chicken wire. They were just like, "Who is this guy?" So,
If
why do you think I
if
play with him? This is the only way I get views is because I'm right next to that guy.
I'm so happy that only like 5 people will listen to this video and this podcast because I've never played shirtless, nor
dude,
does anybody want to see that.
you can't be denying that right now.
Where would I have played shirtless?
You played in it was either the chicken wire somewhere at Seabright. You were invited to play in a tournament. It was either member guest or chicken wire.
You played in
And I
chicken wire
play.
with Severance.
You think I would play in a member guest shirtless?
Yes.
I
This is how
appreciate the
rumors
vote
get
of
started, by the way.
confidence. I mean,
All right, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was someone else.
I could have changed my shirt. I could have changed.
Looking guy.
I could have changed my shirt. It might be JK.
Here's my thing right there to why we're gonna question this theory on him playing shirtless. It is 65 degrees outside some of these tournaments, and the guy is still in his puffer jacket and has two other vests underneath. But you
Listen.
expect him to play shirtless? I mean, come
Touche.
on.
Touche.
By the way, the
Touche.
fact I just saw Luke having a high noon, so you just already became one of my favorites right there. Well done.
Yes.
Thank
Well
you, sir.
done.
So wait, so you guys hooked up at Short Hills or were introduced, and then the first tournament you played was either Maryland NRT or Baltimore Open, one of those two.
No, I thought the first one that we played was Long Island last year. Was it Long Island or?
No, you
I'm
guys.
trying to figure out.
No, before
Which-
that, you guys play. I looked it up today because we do our research here at Cutter's Rule.
I respect
Well,
that.
that would have been quick
Even
on me
with the
for
limited
sure.
viewers we got.
So. It may have actually been Baltimore.
Was it?
It may have been Baltimore that was the first one because isn't Baltimore one of the early ones in the season?
Yes.
So
Oh, you're right. Yes, we
Yeah.
we ended up getting buzzsawed by Salazar and Guy.
yep, that was the first round. That was a welcome to the tour as a team.
So basically, Tyler dumped Mark Innes, the paddle ambassador of the world, to play with you, Andre Ivarsson.
Well, I mean, not to mention the fact that he also played with Eric West at one point, and he decided to downgrade lefties by quite some margin. So I'm not sure how, I'm not sure if I'm going to put Tyler as a great talent scout, but I mean, he makes up for it in other regions.
That's not true. That is not true. You've got more sauce, more pizzazz. I mean, did you hear the introduction?
He
Can
left.
we,
He
can
left.
we get Sean to come with us to every tournament, introduce us as he's walking on the court? Because I mean, at that point, how can you lose?
I am. I'm your
So-
hype man. I'm your hype man.
But okay, but speaking of that, being a hype man, I have to call you out on this. So you do this really great thing. The first match at Nationals, you show up and you basically interrupt the first point of the match to make sure you get us our gear with the Cutter's Rule on court. We'll take the pictures. Everything is great. And then you have your other team of J.K. Thompson and Lucas Green, who I absolutely love those two guys. So the next day they actually play next to each other at the same side, and our main sponsors nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I mean, that is you got to question that.
It was a learning moment, a grave error, and it'll never happen again.
He was trying to sign some teams that were going to make it to the quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
But you have to.
I guess once you play in the back draw, it's like you're just not as important to your sponsor.
Oh, you're not the first guy that says I favor JK, by the way. People think that I am Even Luke accuses me of glazing JK all the time by throwing up
Which
JK.
is fair, but he was playing next to us, and you were still nowhere there. So
There's nothing I can say. It'll never happen again.
Tyler, you heard that, right?
I did.
Yeah,
You heard it
we
here first, folks.
we keeping receipts.
So both you guys played with had a lot of good partners before you guys decided to play with each other. Um, I mean, Tyler, you played with the legend Ernie Kier and McLean Smoke.
I did play with those guys. I mean, of all the people that should be sponsored by Cutter's Rule, that would be Mr. Ernie Kier if I've ever seen. The guy would cut a serve, a return. I think he cuts his lobs at times.
He does. He's the
He
man.
will cut everything.
He turns it up to 11. You have the FBI cut serve though, Tyler, more than anyone.
No, that is still a work in progress. If you have a solid noon experience, Andre's the only one that would respect what I'm talking about. If you get the right amount, you can make that serve easily because you just don't care.
Got to find the right equilibrium.
Yeah, I mean that's a science that we're all trying to perfect for years. Let's just say that in a league match last week, that Ivarsson did not have a good experience with the amount of alcohol that was consumed before a match.
It wasn't the alcohol; it was just lack of food.
Maybe it was, but
I'm still
that was
blaming.
probably
I'm still blaming Maurice. I hope Maurice
Yeah.
hears this.
yeah.
The guy.
Tyler,
Go ahead,
I mean,
Sean.
we
you're
don't
playing.
expect to play. It's raining hard. We don't expect to get any play in. So of course we're hammering them down left and right. And then, Maurice orders 2 pizzas, has about one and a half himself, and there's just no food left. And then he sends us out to play. It's still pouring rain, and we somehow said yes. It was a great experience all around. And due to that performance, I benched myself this week, and I needed a mental break.
So you didn't respond. I did watch one you, and I'm not going to say you were playing with, but I did watch one of those summer league matches, and some of those balls in the middle. Don't these guys know? Like I couldn't believe he was taking some of those balls in the middle from you. I mean, have some self-awareness.
But I mean, it's like I want my partners to hit balls too, as long as in the end I get to hit a couple more.
No, stay at
Listen,
net. I'm gonna carve up. You stay at net and volley. That's your job, and I'll take the overheads.
But sometimes they're just preventing me from really doing something stupid and bad. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So
Let's get
and
back
that
to. Go ahead, Tyler.
no, I'm just saying that's why we work well. I let you do whatever you want, and it works out for us.
There you go. As long as there's an agreement, whether explicitly stated or just understood, that makes a good partnership, right?
What they say.
So let's get back to Green and Thompson, the match that didn't happen. Who's winning that match? You guys have any opinions about that?
oh, if we play Green and Thompson,
That's right.
well, we
We
tried to make
play.
that match happen, and they somehow dodged us. So what does that tell you?
Now
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, Lukey would then have to I don't know. He has to drive by himself. He has to have McDonald's for breakfast, and then no one can talk to him for solid 30 minutes before he goes on court. No, he's got his thing, and that's why we all love Lucas. But clearly, we would win.
I mean,
Well,
if my partner's that
No
confident,
offense.
I'm going to have to be that confident.
they haven't beaten Lakeman Leon. So you
Of course
guys
not.
have, so
I think that's actually that match may be one of our better ones, period. That last match at Nationals. I think
I
that
mean,
was
it
as
does.
complete of a match that we could put together, to be honest.
I don't want to say we need the big stage to pull out
No.
some good stuff, but clearly that's the ticket. So if we have our sponsors show up to matches and actually support us, It would just be unreal. Imagine the level we would go.
that might actually be too big of a stage for us. But being on a side court at nationals playing for 17th, I think that's pretty much the stage that we're looking for.
Those lights aren't too bright.
So I mean, I to be honest, I will say this, and Tyler was there too. There was a couple ladies who, by the way, neither of us knew. So this was completely random, but they walked up to us after. Did we beat in the match before that evening? They got this guys from Indianapolis, Charlie and Held.
Held, yes.
Yes. And they came up to us afterwards and said, "This is the funnest and best match I've ever watched in my life." So, of course, my immediate response was, "You must have not watched a lot of paddle." But in fact, they went. It's like they actually said we watch a ton of paddle, but this was the most fun we've ever seen people play. And I actually think there might be something to that, not because him and I are necessarily super fun, but I think on our level, that is not the absolute top elite. We actually do stuff. If it's stupid or not is a different story, but we do
Of
stuff.
course.
Meanwhile, on the top level, those guys are so freaking good that it doesn't matter what they do. They're just not going to miss, and the opponents aren't going to miss.
Also, they're not going to try it. Come on. Oh, it's 30 all. I'm not going to hit a cutter. Like, it's not fun. It's boring.
That's
Listen.
what I say. If someone tries to hit a cutter in the middle of a match and it fails, I say, if not now, when?
Listen, preach, brother. Preach.
Right?
This is why cutters rule.
That's right.
100%.
So,
Way to
well,
bring it full circle there.
We talked about, with some of the announcers, speed and play and whatnot. I mean, there are certain people that are way more enjoyable to watch playing paddle than others. No offense to the ones that aren't. A lot of them win and they win big, but to me, watching guys try new shots or go for cutters, that's and try and rip the ball once in a while, that's way more entertaining.
well, this is why, to be honest, I wish that it would feel like you're playing summer paddle at all times. Because in summer paddle, stuff happens all the time, right? I mean, it's harder to volley. The ball moves like crazy. You can literally hit a cutter from the service line and sometimes get away with it. I know they're trying to find ways to change things. And to me, if they were going to make a change, make it feel like we're playing in 70 degrees when it's 32. That would be my personal thing.
Is it possible to make a rule change that you have to hit at least one cutter per point?
Sean's sponsoring that legislation.
That's
Actually,
right.
He might start his own league at that point. So,
Hey, it's like banana ball or whatever, the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
see,
he's thinking more like
yeah.
Liv.
It's entertaining.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day with the ability of you guys to get the ball back endlessly. Do you think that the game's going to move towards guys willing to risk, point ending shots more than they do now? Because it's I mean, you got to hit 100 overheads till you get it to die, and the guy can't get it back or misses it.
go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, no, I'm recap this past year, right? The top teams are the ones that aren't doing any of that. Now, is it fun? No. But does it win? Of course. Again, it's kind of like early rounds of tennis, like the guys that go for it and they have nothing to lose. Like, yeah, maybe once in a blue moon you have a huge day and you can hit cutters for, like, Tyler Frazier. You remember the year when he would hit cut after cut after cut? And I think even it was Philly, maybe, that was the first year he and Morgan maybe beat
Durant Mitchell,
and then but also Broderick Palmer.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, that was super entertaining to watch. It was super fun, but it's also he's not cutting as much anymore.
I was just about to say, notice how once they established himself in that top, they started doing less and less of that.
Yeah.
right? So
What
The
what
goal
about
is to
what
win, not to
about
entertain, right?
go ahead, what'd you say, Luke?
The goal is to win, not to entertain.
Yeah, but Guy and Mark hit cutters.
True.
They were points away from winning the whole thing, and they won
There,
last year.
I also think there's a different talent pool there.
yeah, I mean they might have some racket skills that
Wow,
are
shots
not
fired.
not 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 every not everybody's ability right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Sean, before we kind of go forward, how about maybe for people that aren't as familiar with Andre and Tyler, like their background, maybe, what club you guys are currently at, your tennis background, if Andre, you want to start, and then maybe Tyler can give some info as well.
all right. So, originally I'm born in Germany, also lived in Sweden. Everybody thinks I'm Swedish because my last name obviously is Swedish, but I'm both. I have a Swedish mom, or Swedish dad, and a German mom, so I'm confused as hell, and no country actually wants to claim me. Um, Went to Lander University in South Carolina, which was my last resort. Knew nothing about it because when you move over here from Sweden, you know New York, you know Florida, and you know California. But apparently, there's a lot of country that goes in between those three.
Yeah.
So I end up in South Carolina, knew nothing about the program, but I had nothing, nowhere else to go, and it was the best decision I ever made. Actually, Lander had a rich tennis history, and it was one of the premier D2 programs for tennis. Actually won 12 straight national championships between 89 and 2001. I was part of absolutely none of those. As a matter of fact, my recruiting class made our coach quit. What does that tell you about us? Um, but
Oh my
had a
God.
great career. I think I had two All Americans in doubles. I was ranked as high as three in doubles, and doubles has always been my thing. I played singles too and had success, but doubles was really my forte. Um, my coach told me my senior year, go play pro, Andre. You got what it takes to make it on doubles tour. And I looked at him and said, Coach, Elise is pregnant. And he goes, son, go get a job. And that was my pro career. So I've been in the Northeast since 2017. I moved here from Maryland. So I started at Field Club of Greenwich, where actually Martin Bostrom hired me. So obviously a name very familiar to you guys.
Yeah.
I have been living up here now, since 17. I'm in New York now, but I was in Connecticut for multiple years, and done my way. Field Club of Greenwich, Westchester Country Club, Edgewood Country Club, and now I am at Country Club of New Canaan, working with Anna Zabori, and that's been really, really, really good.
That's awesome. Did you start playing paddle in Maryland or once you moved to the Northeast?
No, I actually started playing paddle once I moved here in 2017, but already back in 2009, for you guys, surely you remember George Wilkinson.
Yes.
Rest in peace, my man. I actually played college tennis with the guy, and in 2009, he was already on me about, Andre, you got to move your ass up here. And number two, you're going to play paddle because A, you're going to love it, and B, you're going to be really good at it with your hands. So he was half right. I do love it. I'm not really good at it, but I do love it. So he got that part right. And then yeah, once I moved up here, I got in the courts. Um, my first experience playing was I hit for 20 minutes with Sebastian Bredberg, who was back then at Stanwich Country Club. Um, and we get on the court and he puts me at the net and he's on the baseline. He goes, Andre, whatever you do, don't put volleys away. And I go, what do you mean? So the volleying is not to put away, it's just to get the ball back and play. And I literally put the racket down and said, this sport sucks. I'm done. Because how you tell a serve volley player that's done his whole career to not put volleys away is just, an interesting way of starting it. But um I did 20 minutes with him. I played the next day, got my ass absolutely handed to myself, and decided I wanted to get better at this. And now I absolutely love the sport, and actually my favorite sport to teach.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great background. Tyler, would you care to share?
I mean, how do you follow that? So originally from a country called Kentucky. That is where tennis started. That is where paddle started. But there was a 20-year gap between paddle and tennis. So taught played tennis through juniors. Was homeschooled. I was an All-American there. Played number 1, number 2, number 3. I was also valedictorian in my class.
Best looking.
Best looking, best dressed, according to my
Most
mother.
fit.
Definitely most fit. Didn't have a puffer then, but I learned my ways later on. But no, so played through high school, started to play a few qualifiers, and then ended up getting married shortly after that. And then again, once that happens, you have to start teaching. So started teaching, and then kind of moved around Massachusetts, Florida, then ended up going back to Kentucky, which is where I learned paddle. And in Louisville, Kentucky, there were 7 at the time, 7 paddle courts. A buddy who actually, I think a lot of people up here still remember, Jimmy Dunseith, told me, he's like, look, if you want to get back to the Northeast, you're going to have to learn this sport. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, those things out there. And he pointed to the paddle courts. And I was like, all right, cool. He goes, well, guess what? We're going to play a tournament next weekend. And it was the Indy NRT. So we went out, hit balls for maybe an hour. And I'm like, this makes no sense. I have no idea what we're doing. And went and played the tournament. Ended up playing Ed and Michael, the legends. Come on. Oh, Ed Burns. Ed Burns, who still is an Indy legend, still plays. Ryan Baxter's one of his best partners. No offense to all his other ones, but great dude. But played him, got absolutely murdered by him. I broke my paddle over my knee and said, I'm never playing again. Came back to Louisville and I was hooked. It's one of those things. It's like, as soon as you play, you're like, I have to figure this out. It's so fun. And so now I moved here to New Jersey. I was at Bayhead Yacht Club for 3 years and resigned from there. And now I am at the beautiful club, Chatham Fish and Game, where it is. Have you guys ever been up here?
You know, I have, and I've heard so many people talk about that club. And a guy I went to high school with, college with, plays there, Jack Crowley.
Okay. Yeah. Super, super, like, amazing membership. And like, it is very much a social club. And paddle, sadly, they only have 2 courts, but they make the most of it 100%. And so I'm there helping them out, and I love it.
That's awesome.
I mean, I've actually taught camp with Tyler at these. First of all, greatest name in history is like Fish and Game. I love it. And as you look at this club, and there's nothing there that has anything to do with either, but it's so great. And I've done camp with him there, and those courts are an experience in itself. First of all, every 2.5 minutes when you try to talk to somebody, train goes by. So now nobody can understand a single word you're saying. And I'm already hard to understand as it is. And then number 2, when you lose a ball, you lose it 10 feet down because it's going in the parking lot that's below the courts. So now I'm running through the hut, down the stairs, into the parking lot, grab a ball, come back up. So every time you lose a ball, it's like a 3-minute gap before you hit the next ball. It's amazing. Love it.
Tyler, I did listen. I had listened to it a long time ago, like I don't know, 2 years ago, but I re-listened to it. You had a lot to do with with bringing the bourbon ball to Louisville, right? Is that fair or not?
Yes. Yeah. Very fair. Started it with his name is Edwin Lewis. Great guy, great paddle guy. Great. He was a great tennis player, but yeah. And it's honestly when we started it, the first thing we said was it has to be the fun atmosphere, but the food has to be way better than Short Hills. I know I'm probably going to get some heat for that comment, but it was like, oh, we don't want, cold cuts. We want actual proper food. And literally, Edwin delivered that by himself. It was single-handedly made it. Everybody loved it. For the atmosphere, they built a perfect viewing deck. But at the same time, it's still that Southern hospitality. So everybody's very much welcoming, but also wanting to know like your story and wanting to know like who you are and where you came from. Instead of some places are a little stuffy. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, so that I mean, that's obviously one of the reasons why your guys' partnership works, right? I mean, you guys probably take it very seriously when you're on the court, but you guys have a blast together.
I mean, I think at the
100%.
end of the day here, it's like Tyler and I have realized that at our advanced age at this point, like we're not winning Wimbledon anytime soon, right? So and to be honest, and I really hope that the top guys don't take offense to this because I am so amazed with how good those guys are and what they do and some of the names what they've done for the sport. But you make the top of this paddle world, right? And is as big as you can get, as high as you can get, and there's what 1,000 people actually know who the hell you are. Like, so it's like there's no reason to take yourself too seriously. And that's one of the things. That's really the way I operate in the sport. It's like if you get too serious in this sport, then it's a you problem. I'm sorry to say, I'm doing this because it's such a fun thing to do, and I get to hang. Every tournament is a weekend with my buddies. That's the way I see it, and I think that's the way Tyler and I operate. Doesn't mean we don't want to win. Doesn't mean we don't want to be competitive, but if we lose Monday morning, we still go back to work, right? I mean, life hasn't changed at that point.
Same with if you win.
So,
But that Monday lesson definitely feels a little bit better.
I mean, let's just say this: I came home from national 17th place. Appawamis did not roll out the red carpet for me. Despite winning 5 out of the 6 matches.
Chatham
So
Fishing
it's like
Game did.
life hadn't changed. So
They were like 17th. Stop it.
yeah,
Are you 17th in the world? Yes, I am.
yes.
Soon to be 15th.
There we go. That's a goal.
If a sponsor would show up,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's in the contract with the sponsors. Like, you got to be top 15.
actually, I'll settle for if Hot Dog Lady shows up and brings those hot dogs, I'm in.
That's a done deal. Andre missed that in Boston.
No, the funny thing is, Sean, before I even met you, Tyler talked about Hot Dog Lady 5 times. It's
It was unbelievable. She has
he
these
was all
pants.
about it.
She has these pants that have literally 10 zippers on each side. They're like parachute pants from the 80s. And she's like an Italian mom. She wants to make sure everyone's okay, particularly me. I'm well fed. You guys have seen my girth. And it was getting late and we were drinking and I get cranky if I don't eat. She runs over and literally buys about 15 hot dogs. She comes back, there's 2 in her hand. All of a sudden she starts unzipping one by one. So many freaking hot dogs. And Anton Prosenko is staring at us like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I hold out this hot dog. I didn't even know who he was. I said, hey, would you like a hot dog? And he had this look of distrust on his face. Like he didn't know if it was okay to I'm like, no, it's okay. You can have this hot dog. And then he was like, thank you. And then started eating his hot dog.
Tyler actually described that moment because it was Boston Nationals, right? He described it as
Yeah.
magical because he says, like, no matter what, there was just another hot dog count in the pants over and over again. It was like a magic trick. It was
It was.
insane.
No
So,
one was going hungry. Everyone bonded over the hot dog experience. And I think we might be able to do a Cutter's Rule tournament and she just walks around delivering hot dogs.
They are her favorite pants, so that there's an idea.
Just saying.
I mean, you got us signed up already. We're in.
I mean, look, guys, I dragged she came. I dragged her to Boston. I've only been playing paddle 4 years. Luke knows. Luke. My wife loves Luke, but even if he's not playing in the tournament that I'm in, he'll come watch. She's met Luke 1,000 times. I dragged her up to Boston. Then I dragged her to Philly for 3 days. And if you look, it's me, JK, and my wife are the only three people left when they're giving Graham the trophy. You look at the video, it's just the three of us. No one else is out there except the three of us. That's how insane I am. But
And you're wearing a puffer like one of the ones that Tyler has.
I
Also,
was.
so.
I was in a
Yeah,
Tyler
there we go.
puffer.
We'll put that on the
That's
thumbnail
right.
for.
Now, with that said, I finally got to meet your lady at Nationals.
Yes.
Because literally Tyler introduced it to me as Hot Dog Lady,
Hot dog
and I
lady.
was very disappointed to find out she did not have a hot dog on hand for me when I got to meet her.
There you go.
So I'm hoping that she's going to, rectify that the next time I see her.
Your wife is pretty awesome too. We had two individual sessions. It wasn't. I think Nico Bubnik was rollers. I forget what Tam. She was dying laughing, and she would catch herself because you're on a. It was like, okay, go to Nico for rollers. Okay, go to Tam for volleys or positional play, and it's like 30 minutes, and we're just making joke after joke after joke, and she'd be like, guys, come on, we have to get through this and move on with the lesson. But she was dying laughing. She's such a good sport.
I mean, if I had a dime every time somebody told me how awesome Tam is, I'd be owning a lot of clubs in this world. Literally every place I've worked at ever since Westchester, I've brought her along to some degree to help out because she is a phenomenal pro. And every single time when people get to meet her and get to do clinics with her, they look at me and goes, "How the hell did we hire you and not her?" It happens every time, every time. I'm not sick of it at all. No, no,
It's
no, it's
true.
okay.
It's true.
I'm mentally strong.
His
So
pride story that he likes to tell is, Tam's my wife, right? Constantly, every time
Yes.
we meet new people, they're like, "Oh, Tam? Yeah, that's my wife." Constantly.
People find it hard to believe that Courtney's Sean's wife sometimes too.
Pretty much.
It's fair.
Pretty much. So both of you guys are playing Summer League paddle. Are you guys playing pickle or not?
what's
I try to
pickleball?
not. I try to not pickle.
Thank you. Thank you.
I try to quit pickle.
Thank you. What about padel?
Yeah, it's.
Ooh. With all the rain,
I mean, we own a
that's
paddle
all.
podcast, so I don't know if we can show our true colors, but I will say it's an
with
amazing sport.
with all the rain, that has been the saving grace to stay in a racket sport, because every pro is like, well, we can't do anything indoors. Oh wait, yes we can.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Have you guys played it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I played.
Did you not see Sean's post on Cutter's Rule of him tagging people on the padel court? Or
Oh no, I gotta step my social media game up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tagged one of my friends in the head and the other one in the balls. It's up.
Yes.
Okay, wait. So I've seen that. I actually didn't realize that was you.
Yeah, that's me.
That was okay. That's impressive. I seen the post. I didn't realize it was you because I saw you guys post other stuff. But that okay. Well done. Well done.
Thank
Did
you.
you, Andre, did you
props
see
to
him
you.
sprinting off the court to clip it, to hit the button to
Yes.
to
Okay.
clip?
Yeah. There we go.
Usain Bolt running for that movie clip.
That's about as fast as I run for a taco or a high noon.
There you go. What outside of high noons, how do you guys, gear up for tournament time? Do you guys drill at all, or it's just we know the drill, see you there, and let's go?
I mean,
We've
it's
tried.
tougher because we're not that close, right? So it's been a little tougher to get together consistently. But especially going into some of the big tournaments late in the season, we were able to meet in Jersey a couple times and play practice matches at least. So we actually played a ton against Martin Bostrom and
Blake.
Mr. Anderson. in Jersey leading up to it.
That's
Yeah, and like if we do like a paddle camp or help with team practices, we'll try to get a match in again just to feel the ball a little bit. But we definitely need to train. We definitely need to find time to be able to drill more so than we did last year.
Not to mention the fact we still got to make sure, keep each other honest on that high noon game is strong. So get together for that, just
We've got to build up a tolerance.
exactly.
what is the flavor of choice for you guys?
Oh, I know what Tyler's is.
I
Peach?
think
It's a peach baby.
everybody knows.
He's a
I think
peach guy,
everybody
It's a
knows.
right?
peach baby.
Nothing more
Now the
masculine
question
than
is, does
walking up.
Tyler know which one my favorite is? That's going to be more intriguing.
Uh I think he wants to say pear.
Oh, he's on it. He's on it.
He
Pear.
loves pear. He
You
he
know why?
loves pear, but
He
he'll
likes
drink anything.
he likes pear, Tyler, because no one drinks them and they're always laying around and they're usually free.
There's
No, they
only
actually
one I
remind me
won't
of they
drink.
remind me of Swedish cider. And Sweden has a strong cider game, and pear is one of the flavors that it always is, and it's so flipping good. So give me a pear high noon anytime. If you want to become my friend, find me with a pear high noon.
Well, I'll have to try. I have not tried pear.
Well,
And
then you can't knock it.
I've
So
tried a pear. Come on, Andre. I just haven't tried pear high noons. What so you guys hang together. I know you obviously have had partners. It seems like in the paddle community, it just again, as an observer at these tournaments, everyone is so cool to each other, nice and friendly. But there does seem to be cliques. Are those usually geographically, or just who you guys vibe with, or is who you're going to hang out with at the tournaments or late night partying or whatever?
I think it's geographical. I mean, I kind of since I played in Kentucky in the Midwest, I know some more of like the Midwest players. But I think for the most part, everybody kind of hangs with their crew, right? It's Chicago people hang out with the Chicago's. Um, Kentucky, Indy is close enough. Um, like some of the Georgia guys are super fun to hang out with. But just kind of what everybody's comfortable with. I don't know. What do you
yeah,
think?
I mean, I think it makes sense because obviously you see those people a lot more, not just if it's work related or within their leagues or whatever. So that kind of makes sense. And I know, for instance, when we go to Chicago in those tournaments, like Indy travels together, like they all come in as one big group, and I'm sure other places do the same. Um, I mean, Jersey and Westchester paddle is so big in itself. Like I don't think we feel like we're clicky when we go to tournaments. It's just there's a lot of familiar faces. But one of the things that I love about this is, I mean, every tournament I go to, I get to see people that I don't get to see on a regular basis or weekly. If it's the Pittsburgh guys, if it's some indie guys, and I feel like I've gotten really good friendships in different places through paddle because of it.
Where did you guys party Saturday night at Philly? I feel like there were no pros hanging out partying there Saturday night. Were you guys just spent from Friday night? You guys
I
capable
think
back to
I think
back?
I was asleep in the rocking chair with the leg compression thing on. People taking pictures of me passed out.
Oh yeah, we had a
Um,
good time with that. I think you and I spent close to 2 hours there. So,
well, it's still freezing. I was
but
thawing
we were
out.
getting served the entire time by the banana crew. So why would you not just,
What else are you gonna do?
exactly. So,
Who's the
and
ringleader of the banana crew? Is there one head banana chick or
no, it's tough to call out a head banana, but
and is that a
there,
phallic reference or not?
no, I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Okay.
I did not nod yes. Um, Yeah.
I mean, there might have to be another podcast at some point where you just bring on a bunch of the banana crew ladies and just figure it out from there.
You
I would
So
guys,
love it.
you guys have already earned two more trips back. You guys are going to become regulars.
the-
Love it.
that's happy to provide. So
John, as we kind of wrap up here, do you guys want to this little rapid fire questions here at the end of just some niche paddle things? But so Andre and Tyler, you guys can kind of just both riff and answer these. But first, what racket are you guys currently playing with?
Xenon.
I'll go. Master.
Xenon Master. What shoes do you guys use?
Xenon.
Master.
Do you like the Xenon ones, Tyler? Have they been lasting longer?
They are lasting longer, and the comfortability. I asked Noah, I'm like, what the heck? What did you do? He goes, oh, well, it's kind of a smart thing to focus on the two things that we wanted, comfort and durability. I was like, all right, maybe you do know what you're doing.
Excuse me, is that a condom ad or a shoe ad?
I'm going to plead the fifth again on this one. So,
Comfort and durability. What?
What it's about.
Favorite hut or court
there's
stay?
nothing there that can help my durability ever. So let's not even try that. So
Yeah, 15 nooners.
so that will do it. That will do it.
Just moving on though. So favorite hut or courts that you guys have played? I know you mentioned, the fishing game and other places, but just any places that are special for you to play at and always looking forward to play there.
Hut, I'm going to say where we met at Short Hills. It was chemistry right away. Emotions ran high. Court, though.
I will say I always love playing Chicago. Glenview particular. It's just Saturday night in Chicago when everybody's out there for the quarterfinals. It's great atmosphere. Hut is packed. Play on both sides of the hut, and then not to mention the fact that Glenview has the greatest showers on tour. It's just
Definitely the
I
greatest showers.
Chicago
And
to shower.
we might have to go because they have shotguns. And
See,
I don't know if you know this, but Chatham Fish and Game has a gun range as well as a bowling alley, by the way.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're right. It's electric at Glenview.
So I don't want to hijack this, but your old partner Ashford, he would talk about how great the Chicago huts were versus the East Coast every single episode.
Yep.
and he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all. He's not. It's an experience it's an experience in Chicago. If you go to Exmoor, I took a video because it was like, this makes no sense. When you walk in, it's a family restaurant, and you have windows of 5 paddle courts, and then there's an indoor curling. Amazing atmosphere, amazing snacks, and then you have basically a kitchen, and it's full spread. So the family's meeting you after your paddle match. You get to have dinner right there. It's a genius thought, and it's not a warming hut. Like that's what everybody has here. There, it's like, oh no, let's take it a step further. Let's actually turn this into a profitable business.
Is that
Yeah. And
Mike Raleigh's place?
Mike Raleigh's place, yes.
and I think the other one that I was at, I want to say it's Westmoreland, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's same. So they have, full bar restaurant in the paddle hut, and I walked in, and this is when I played with Ryan Baxter one year, so maybe 2 years ago, and we are going to play round of 16s against the GOAT, Durant and Mitchell. And we walk in, and it's like 11:30. Our match is set for 12:30, and there's no kidding. There's 40 families having lunch in there. So we start walking out to warm up, do a thing. Dax and I made sure to have a drink before we started playing them because why wouldn't you? Which by the way, they provided for us. So they were very nice bartenders. Said, whatever you want, I got you. So that was great. And then we walked out and played. And next thing you know, no kidding, 200 people have pulled chairs out and are sitting outside the hut watching our match while we were getting our asses absolutely handed to us. So that was a great experience, by the way. Fantastic. It was. I'm glad that many people could experience how silly I can look in a paddle court.
How many people?
It was like 200. I mean, no kidding. It
Wow.
was like the place was packed. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And part of the reason why I love going to Chicago tournaments.
Love it. Moving on, you guys kind of already touched on this, but if you want to give another shout out here, who taught you the game of paddle, helped you develop the most, or helped you along the most when you were beginning out. I know you kind of both had already mentioned some people. If you want to keep talking about them, or maybe shout someone else out, but would
I'll
love
go
to.
first.
So Jimmy Dunseith was the first person to get me on a paddle court. The Kentucky crew, again, they would travel to tournaments. But then coming up here, I think the person that helped the most, I actually would teach with Floor and Martin in Plainfield when I was at Bayhead. And just learning from their perspective is very simple, but it's a professional way of thinking of it. Versus kind of the way that I learned, which was go play a tournament, figure it out. And I think a lot of us kind of feel that way. But I think those were the key people that kind of helped me figure out what to do. And I'm still trying to figure it out.
I remember you brought them down to Bayhead for an exhibition match, I think. Was that Justin Campbell also that came down as well, I think? But
Yes.
that was very cool.
Yeah, it was a great crew.
Yeah, for me was when I started playing league paddle, I played for Italian Center in Stamford. So Felix Yamasoto, who's actually still today playing on tour. I call him the paddle samurai. Um, I played a whole season more or less with him for league, and he was super supportive. Like he had good insights, and he very quickly figured out the stuff I was good at and really enforced like this is what you do well, use this, and that was a big move. And then just like Tyler said, I mean, the one person that made a huge difference for me is Martin Bostrom. Just to see once again that structured professional view of the game. And, you know, I've gotten the chance to play a couple terms with him. We tried to play one tournament each year together, and it's basically him doing charity work. Um, and the first time him and I played together was actually Chicago, where we went together, and it's like it was such a great learning experience for me. It was fantastic, and this is one thing that happened in one of the matches that we played. I continuously still use when I teach, and we were playing. I can't remember who we were playing, but we picking on the outside because Martin is obviously hitting overheads, and I'm just sitting as close to net as I possibly can to use my hands, which is at that point the only thing that was somewhat noticeable as a paddle player. Um, but there's a ball that comes in between us, and it's really short, so I can kind of take it. So I step in and take an overhead, and all I hear behind me is. "Argh." And I realized that I just took the ball away, that he was going to cut the hell off and probably finish the point. And I've never felt so small in my entire life as I did that moment. But I still use that when I teach because it makes such a big difference. Because sometimes, as the guy is sitting at the net, you take the wrong ball, you completely reset the point,
Yeah.
right? Because, Martin has a process that he goes through and he has shots he's looking for and he's got a ball that he wants. And if I get in the way and take that, there you go. And that's no different when Tyler and I play because now I've learned to have my process when I go into do side and there's a specific ball I want. And that ball happens to be literally right in Tyler's face.
Yeah.
So for him to let that one go and have the trust and the knowledge that that's the one Andre wants, let him take it. Not everybody gets that. You have to, and that's why it's hard to playing with a lefty because it's a different setup, right? Playing two righties, it makes so much more sense in that scenario.
I love that.
And when the noons are flowing and my reaction time is a little bit slow, that paddle gets closer and closer to my head.
I
What?
haven't brushed it off yet, but it could happen.
I would, I never really thought about it the way that you just said, Andre, in terms of, this Martin setting up maybe four overheads in a row to get the one that he wants. But I do have a friend that's much better than me, and he would just tell me, stand over on the side of the court, get out of the way, and then come back in after I hit it. That's all you need to do, and then cut off anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a great lesson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not many.
it was very rewarding getting to play with Martin because I got to learn a ton just in playing several matches with him. It was really good. And one specific match, I remember we had an absolute battle with Rams and Mike Wagner. Um, and obviously a very, very good team. And we ended up losing 6-4 in the third. And I'm by far the weakest on the court, but I feel like I'm really hanging in and holding my own. And I think it was 3-all or 4-3, whatever's in a final set, and out of nowhere, I go for a cutter on a big, massive point. I think it was game point. It was a massive point. I go for a cutter. Well, let's just say the cutter lands 3 feet behind the baseline. And after that, I couldn't get another ball in play. Like I completely lost it, knowing that what a big moment I screwed up on. And so what did I learn from that? Don't stop hitting cutters.
There you
So,
go. We applaud that. I think,
Tom,
by the
who?
way, I think Wagner's one of the most underrated players on the tour. I mean, maybe you guys know how good he is, but for club players that watch, they don't see him a lot. I think he's super solid.
He is incredible. And actually, the one loss that we had at Nationals was against Rams and Wagner. And um, that's the one probably Tyler and I really, of all the matches all season long, I think that's the one we won back the most. And part of it is because we were so amped up to play these guys and we had a great game plan going in the way we wanted to execute. And we
We
executed until about 2-all first set. And
we
then that
looked
was it.
at we looked amazing though.
So,
We looked amazing, matching shirts. Andre didn't have Taco Bell meat on the front of his yet.
yeah, that was a big move. But it's funny because Mike is, as I said, he's not flashy by
No.
any means, but he can. And maybe, I mean, if you compare him and Philippe Rams, Philippe has obviously so much stuff he can do and hurt you in so many different ways. And he is one of the smoothest guy to watch. I mean, he's so fun to watch, and I haven't got to play with him. It's like it was tough to focus because all I want to do is watch him. Like, how do I go from playing with Philippe Rams and play with Tyler Owens? How am I ever going to focus ever on anything but my partners? Like, it's like, just trying to keep myself together is not easy. Um,
But
but Mike may go ahead.
to be fair, the match that we played against those two is the reason we came up with the proper game plan against Lakeman Leon for the finals.
Absolutely. That's true.
Can
Because
you
we
can you
fell for
reveal what that is or not?
we fell for the transition game
Yeah.
and we wanted to go with it. And me especially, I'm the biggest at fault because I don't hate playing fast. I enjoy getting in the hands battles and getting into that stuff and blitzing and whatnot. And we got absolutely murdered by those two. And the thing is right there is like Mike Wagner will put the ball in the right place every single time for Philippe to make his moves. And they're just so good at it. And the learning lesson we took is when we played Lakeman Leon, who I've lost 3 times last year, and Tyler and I lost him twice together. Um, we figured out the lesson. That's exactly how they want to play. And when we took that away, we took away their biggest weapon. And what was the score? Was it 2-1, 2-0? What was? I mean, it was incredibly decisive. I think
It
it was
was
2-0.
shocking.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that 3 times before I played them, it's been 7-6 in the third, or two times was third set breaker because back draw, and then the other match we lost was 5-6 or something like that. So to beat him 2-0 after all that was pretty cool. Felt pretty good.
Great guys nonetheless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of leads into the next question here. But for the next season or next year, just in general, it doesn't have to be a pro match or a tour match, but one tournament or match you're most determined to win over the next year. Maybe it's a duo you want to beat or like a fun tournament that you guys play in that you want to win. But anything that sticks out for you of something you really want to get done next year.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Goal is to get on live stream, right? That's the game. I mean,
I think the paddle tour is missing something.
Am I gonna wear Cutter's rules? Just eating a hot dog, sipping a peach noon?
Yes.
I think so. Needs to happen.
So I feel like the paddle tour is missing out on not having us on live stream yet. If it's not for the talent, then it's going to be for the absolutely incredible color commentary. Because the comments that can come out of the two of us, or
Yeah, they should mic you guys up. They should mic you guys up.
The passive aggressive comments that go back and forth are pretty much ideal, and what you're looking for.
So I mean,
that's it's nice one. Keep doing that.
We have as I said, the color commentary is there, and I feel like the tour is missing out on not putting that on full display. So you want to make the sport more fun. I think there's a chance right there.
For sure.
So yeah, going on live stream is definitely one thing. And the other thing I think Tyler and I will agree is like I feel like we're right there, but we haven't gotten that marquee win yet. Like that one really known team. I'm not saying it has to be a top 5 team, but just like a really good team that I think we were close at Fairfield when we played together, and we lost 6-4 in the third to Martin Bostrom and Thomas Nolan. And I think that was one of those that would have been a great marquee win for us.
I was going to bring that up, Andre, because I saw that was a war.
It was incredible. And the funny thing is, it's like the youngest guy on that court was Thomas Nolan. He was also the only guy that ended up cramping somehow. He cramped in his thumb on match point, which is the funniest thing to do. Like, how do you cramp in your thumb? But match point, or it was it was a point before match point, and he at some point hit a lefty lob. He switched his hand. He ended up playing a two-handed forehand, and Tyler and I are going, it's like, what the hell is going on? And then Tyler decided, because he's cramping, we got to finish the point, so he goes for a drop shot, which bounced on the service line, and I ate the next ball. So that was, it was a good call. It worked out.
But in fairness, I feel like we found the proper line of high noons that day.
Yeah,
because my swing juice was flowing.
Well, I mean, if you remember that match, we actually walked onto the court with a tall boy high noons in our hands. So in the third set, my routine was 2 sips of water, 2 sips of Gatorade, 3 sips of high noon, and it worked to perfection.
Sounds like It sounds like an equation that.
Yeah,
that's a proper ratio.
Yeah, exactly.
As Andre's background here has kind of descended into darkness from the beautiful background we had before.
Oh yeah, it's like, not to mention I'm getting eaten alive by bugs at this point, and I definitely got rained on doing this podcast too. So don't say I'm not committed to you guys.
Your sponsor's gonna have to replace your computer.
Mm-hmm.
But just a few more here. Last favorite or most impressive paddle player for you guys to watch. Someone that you enjoy watching on the tour.
Tyler, go first.
Favorite player to watch. I gotta pick a few different. Tomas Christian's volleys are just stupid. I like watching him play because I think he's also underrated. But then Philippe Rams. I mean, how can you not just like how crazy he plays?
He glides. He just glides.
He does. And he's got an instinct for the ball. It's impressive. I feel like he could hit me at any point that he wants.
even in the changeovers.
Of course.
No, but I'm actually going to mention a couple of people here, because there's a few people that should get credit here. Philippe Rams is definitely up there. No, Philippe Rams is up there just because of the way he plays, and It's like if I could see myself play, that's what I hope I look like. I know I look more like an albatross landing. But like I would love to be like Philippe the way I move on court. That's never going to happen. But that's in my own mind. That's how it is. How can you not love watching Mark Powers? I mean, the forehand, the way he hits that, and the way he creates power just so effortlessly is incredible. And he's got everything. He's literally has everything. And you know, how do we not mention the GOAT? Because I've been on the receiving end of what he can do, and when he goes into God mode, it's the guy is just untouchable. It's incredible there's no guy I've ever been on a court with that consistently makes you feel so uncomfortable. Like as I said, even the changeover is uncomfortable. It's just I have never had anybody make me feel that way. Because you just don't know what's about to come at you. And last but not least, I actually also absolutely love watching Anna Zabori. Like because the skill level that she has is you could place her on the men's tour with any dude and she become competitive as hell. It's
Yep,
the
absolutely.
talent level is just absolutely incredible.
You just stole. So I talked to her on Instagram. I have an idea to do. I know that the APTA does like a hut routine, but it's kind of boring. And so I'm working on a camera guy, and we're gonna go visit a hut, tour the hut, play a set, then do a Q&A. And I asked Anna if she would be interested in doing it. And I was thinking about things that I would ask her. And that's exactly what I thought. If you watch her, the amount of grip changes that she does and the way that she spins the ball, she's the one. She's like Caitlin Clark. If there was going to be one that could, play the men's style of game, it's her.
100%.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
I mean,
So
and I know I brought it up, but in one of the other podcasts, that match against Paige and Lopez, I mean, the amount of court that she was covering and what she was doing was just ridiculously athletic. It was just so stupid.
you know what? I have a really funny one about that because I think this when we were hanging in the recovery room and just getting strapped up for hours and hours and hours and watching that. And obviously, the way they changed the strategy to a 1 point literally floor versus standing on the baseline. And there was a point where Anna hit 35 overheads and rollers, and God knows what she did. And floor was in the same stance the entire point. Literally did not move a muscle, like just frozen. And then Anna wins the point, and my immediate reaction is yell out is like, Floor played that point perfectly. I mean, but that was something else to watch. It was, as I said, she can take over a match. It's and not there's not a lot of play on this tour where you can say that as single-handedly can take over a match.
Yep.
True.
Luke, does that conclude the rapid
Luke,
fire?
you got more?
Yeah,
I'm just getting going here. There's more rain coming, but I will handle it for you.
All right, we got a few more. All right, one pet peeve on a paddle court that you have, whether it be foot faulting, something like that, not saying the score.
Cheating line calls, bad line calls.
Yep, that's a big one.
We have a lot.
I mean, line calls is
we have a
one
lot of
thing. The
bad.
other one is when this is this is actually not even about players. It's more about the people that support ex players and when they are literally clapping on when you make a super easy error. Like I understand the game is based on errors, so it's hard to pick
Good
your
point.
moments. But when I miss a cutter or something like that, which is clearly 100% on just me missing, there's nothing you freaking did to earn that. And then they go clapping, and that drives me absolutely bonkers. And we had one of those scenarios at Long Island where,
I have
I
a
mean,
feeling some people are going to try to do it more now,
yeah, that could be
just to
true.
get in our head now.
Yeah, we may have shown our cards there, but you know what? It's I'm not above walking out there and smacking somebody.
That's horseshit.
That's why we need more supporters to be like, "Hey, stop doing that."
Yeah, exactly. Stop doing that.
Tyler, I
I
thought you
know
would have
I
said
know we've
something.
had a sponsor there. They would finish
Yeah,
that real quick.
Tyler, I thought you would have brought up like bad outfits, bad paddle outfits, or
I mean, that's kind of a given, but
I mean,
I
he
mean,
has to play with me, so he has to deal with them.
I don't like to call people out. I just know I like a puffer.
and you lead by example.
I gotta figure out what this season's puffer's gonna look like, Sean. You
You
gonna
know,
hook a brother up?
I am. So, my wife is really into hot dog girls into fashion. Maybe I'll have her put together like a storybook inspiration of like what's trending and what will look good on you.
All right,
I,
if she creates a puffer that has a massive hot dog on the back and cutters rule in the front, we are wearing the hell out of that. We are wearing the hell out of that.
I'm in.
So, so did we lose Luke, or did he just turn off his
Luke.
video?
I think he froze for a hot second, so I think he's trying to turn it back on.
All right. Who do you guys think's underrated on the tour outside of you two guys?
Sean Leonard,
Sean Leonard and his 45 PTI.
of course.
Yeah,
With the new algorithm,
that's
might be 30, might be 35 real soon.
exactly.
I would say Mike Wagner is one guy that probably doesn't get talked about enough.
J
That's one.
JK's getting better and better. What's his PTI now?
It's like a 4 or 5.
I mean, he's still underrated. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I
To
think.
be honest, I think one other guy that never got enough credit is Stephen Mitchell.
Oh,
And the problem is
Yeah.
because of who he played with.
yep.
But the guy on his own is absolutely incredible. And I actually have a really funny story for you. Because was it 2 or 3? When was Long Island Nationals? Is it 3 years ago already? Because we had Boston,
Yes.
Chicago. What was before then? Oh, we had Philly. Okay, so yeah, but it was before Chicago, right? So it might have been 4 years ago,
Yes.
something like that. But anyway, so that's when he did the World versus US for that Thursday before National started.
Yeah.
And I got lucky enough to get to play with Stephen Mitchell one of the rounds. And Stephen Mitchell starts serving. Serves the first ball in, ball goes up as a lob, and I say you, and he literally just lets the ball bounce in between us, and the ball goes in the back. And he looks at me and goes, "I'm sorry, I've never heard that ever before." We both just absolutely dying laughing. It was just so well played. It was fantastic.
Well, I mean, I obviously had the pleasure of meeting him up at Owl's Nest, and I mean, the guy is as humble and down to earth as you could possibly imagine. But
Self-deprecating, as a matter of fact, which is, I mean, something I enjoy personally. So, I'm a big fan of that.
I mean, his rollers, his volleys. I mean, he's, yeah. I mean, I guess when you're playing with the GOAT, everyone focuses on him, right?
And with reason. And Luke is back with another high noon, so that's good.
Yeah. Sorry about that. The internet went out quickly.
Oh, good.
Are you in Patterson?
My connection seems like it.
They don't sell high noons in Patterson.
Different kind of malt liquor.
All right, Luke, are you back to your questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't even think I have to ask this one, but roller or cutter. Think that's a pretty easy one for you guys.
How about Cutter or FYM?
I think for me, I need to go roller. Andre for sure cutter. I don't know. My moonball cutter is just money, though.
I've seen it.
It's a tough one.
I mean, the funny thing is, I tell myself every year to start hitting more rollers. And if I actually get to 5 rolls in a match, I did really well for myself.
That is the thing. Yeah. With the YouTube streams, like I feel like the pros hit so many more rollers than, club players and just other matches I'm involved in. It seems like the roller is so much more prevalent.
Yeah, it is. And because it nullifies offense so much more. Because the problem is, even if I hit a cut overhead, if I hit it in a bad spot and it sits out of the second screen, I'm still seeing it drive at me. And, so the problem is I'm so programmed to always get in the cut grip that I end up hitting another cut overhead. And the one thing is that helps me a little bit is because I'm left-handed and there are multiple players in this world that struggle against left-handed players. So I get away with a little bit more. If I was right-handed, I can guarantee I'll probably hit more rollers.
Good point.
I had a I had a
Forehand.
I had a roller lesson today. Literally an hour of rollers. Over.
Who
And you,
who
and you
who
finish
is
with a
No cutters.
who is the guru of the roller?
He's a kid from Tom's River. He's the assistant at Seabright now.
Good friends with
Oh,
McLean, Tyler.
Yeah, really good friends with McLean.
I think I met him.
Alec
Alec?
Williamson.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
really nice guy.
What? Who else in the country right now in the dog days of summer of June is doing an hour roller session? That's wanting it more than
That's a
anyone.
good point. That's
it's,
dedication.
I
Like
mean,
I've never seen.
There you go.
And then just two more here: forehand drive or backhand drive for you guys.
Forehand.
backhand.
Love it. And then last one, rank in order: platform tennis, padel, pickleball, and regular tennis. I guess based on how much you play them or your enjoyment of the four.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Platform, padel right there, tennis, and then that other one maybe.
Pickle way far
All
down.
right, I'm going to say platform, padel, tennis, ice hockey, curling, chess, poker, bowling, billiards, and
Solitaire.
nope, still no pickleball.
I
That's
love it.
hysterical.
That's Tyler. I was talking to Ernie the other day, and he sent me a picture. They took two of the Bayhead courts and paddle courts and painted pickleball or did something for pickleball for the summer. And he's like, I knew you wouldn't like it. Yeah, I no interest in pickle whatsoever.
Well, they make a lot of sense.
Those are that's all the rapid fire questions
So
I have.
there's actually really funny when we got in pickleball because one of the ladies in the banana crew was going to play her first pickleball match the other day. So she puts in any tips for me, and all these ladies are firing do this and do that and all the bullshit that they came up with. And I said, here you go. Once you get to the kitchen, pivot your left leg, open up your hips, start walking 10 feet, throw your paddle in the trash, and never come back. And that was my tips on how to play pickleball. So
I love it.
Ideal.
I've got no more of these rapid questions. Sean, if you want to end it with anything. I think Tyler's sitting outside of Studio 54 there waiting to get in. So
No, I'm good, guys. This is awesome. Well, long overdue. You got it in before Griffin Kramer. That's
thank
good.
God, because I was pissed when I heard he was
I
going to be
know.
on, and we hadn't been on yet.
So, but we got to have you guys back on when the season starts. So you guys definitely playing Montclair? I haven't even spoken about that yet.
We haven't actually talked about the tournament schedule yet. The issue with me personally is that I literally can't play the full schedule because every other weekend I go to see my kids in Maryland, which is when the tournaments are in Maryland, I can make it work no matter what, obviously. So Montclair tends to always fall on a weekend that I have the kids. But I've always been wanting to play it. So maybe it's one of those where, how many sorries can I say to my ex-wife to find a way to get to play? Plus, my oldest son, who is turning 17, now actually has a job. So if he's going to work all weekend long, then what's the point? So
There you go. Well, guys, let's do it again. You guys are a blast. You are, official Cutters Rule. You're in the under the umbrella, right? So
Ambassadors of cutters.
there you go.
ambassadors, exactly. So I can't wait to all the phenomenal Cutters Rule swag that we're receiving prior to the season starting.
I'm working on that. I got
love
these
it.
hats in.
Yep.
Looks mint. I listen, if I don't get any say in the puffer, I'm upset.
I'm working on a puffer. I'm working on. I have a rope hat too. I'm not a golfer, but if you guys wear rope hats, you know what you guys.
Well, but big time trucker hat guy. So if you ever want to do that in trucker hat,
I
you got me.
have a blue camo trucker hat coming in.
I
Boom.
will say
Boom.
I'm just throwing this out there. There was a podcast that used to be a thing inside the wires. They had probably the best trucker hats I've ever seen, ever worn. Just mentioning it.
All right.
Also, if you ever end up getting short shorts with cutters roll in the leg, I know one guy on this team that'd be happy to wear them, and I'll sacrifice myself to do so to be matchy matchy.
Is that
You guys should see.
is that a
Sounds like you want to wear them, Andre.
Nah, I mean it's I can never do it as well as the guy next to me, so that's a problem.
It's not true.
No,
That dump truck is ready for some shorts.
I just don't know if I can fit in them.
We are leaving the podcast on that note. That dump truck. All right, guys.
Thanks for doing this, guys.
Thanks
This was a
so
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you so
having
much,
us.
and we really love all the shit you're doing. So keep it up, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
No, it's great.
We're gonna do this again.
Yeah,
For
get
sure.
together soon.
All right.
Let's do it.
Thanks, guys.
You guys.